I'm reminded of Winston Churchill's description of Americans when he said, you can always count on Americans to do the right thing after they've tried everything else. And I guess that's my sense about religion. You can always count on religion to do the right thing after it's tried everything else. Eventually they do get around to it for other reasons. So, speaking of homosexuality, my third point is a case study of what's wrong with religion today, especially with Christianity. You guys are really missing the boat here on homosexuality and gay marriage. You'll get around to it eventually for other reasons, as my Churchillian quote said. Almost everyone is born attracted to members of the opposite sex. A tiny percentage, maybe 1 or 2%, maybe even less than 1%, are attracted to members of the same sex. So what? Asking a homosexual when he or she chose to become gay is like asking a heterosexual when he or she chose to become straight. Nevertheless, on this particular issue, Christianity remains mired in pre-civil rights, pre-enlightenment, pre-scientific, medieval, barbaric thinking, basing their beliefs on a single biblical passage, Leviticus 18:22, "Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind, it is abomination." Anyway, as a consequence of this embarrassing lapse of Christian charity and Jesus' doctrine of love for all of humanity, Christian preachers and writers, theologians think nothing of tormenting gays by telling them that their desire to love another person of the same sex is an abomination, by telling them that they have a disease that can be cured through a treatment, and that promiscuity is evil, but that the single best prophylactic against promiscuity, marriage, is legally banned from them. Anyway, mark my words, here is what is going to happen. Within a decade, maybe 2 or 3, Christians will come around to treating gays no differently than they now treat members of other groups whom they previously persecuted, women, Jews, and blacks, but not because of some new interpretation of a biblical passage or because of some new revelation from God. These changes will come about the same way they always do, by the oppressed minority fighting for the right to be treated equally, and by a few enlightened members of the oppressing majority supporting their cause. Then what will happen is that Christians will take credit for the civil liberation of gays, dig through the historical record, find a few Christian bloggers or preachers who had the courage and the character to stand up for gay rights and their fellow Christians when their fellow Christians would not, and then cite those as evidence that were it not for Christianity, gays would not be equal. Anyway, that's enough on that. You can always count on religion to do the right thing after it's tried everything else. Eventually they do get around to it for other reasons.